Hey everybody, it's Eric from the MMG. Welcome to our channel. We're checking out Smalland, Survive the Wilds. This game has a little bit of a colorful history, but I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to be disappointed. Let's talk about the history first though. This game was kickstarted by a company. They developed it for a couple of years, ran out of money. They were going to get rid of it. Merge Games, who was the publisher the whole time, decided they wanted to not let this baby die. So they picked it up, finished development, and I think that was over a 2 or 3 year period. And so when they first offered me this title, I was unsure what I was going to get myself into here. A lot of times when you have multiple teams working on a game, it just does not come out right. But I'll tell you right now, I have been more than impressed with it. You are going to love this game if you like survival games that do things in a very cool way and have a big discovery element to them. Alright, let's go jump in. We're going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to cover some of the very basic things, just kind of give you a quick idea of what the game has to offer, and wrap it all up in a nice package. Before we get started though, hit that subscribe button, help us keep growing the community. Let's get to it right now. We're going to hit this play button, and we're going to actually create a new character. We're going to delete this one. We're going to create a new character. We're going to call him MMG Person. Create. And I'm going to show you the basics here. You have your two body types, male and female. You have the head. You have some basic features. You can customize your character however much you want. It doesn't get too crazy, you know. Always, you know me, I always have a beard. I'm going to put the beard on. And this is really the most important part of the whole character creator, though, is the antenna color. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only does it look cool, but this is a cool feature in this game when you have friends around you in the game, but say they're far enough away where you can't really see them. You'll see like a highlight or a glow coming from them, like a circle. It's their antennas actually glowing, so it's how you can communicate with other people, other small folk. And it's really cool because if you choose the color like red, well then that friend will show up as a red circle of color for you. You know, whatever color they choose, red, purple. So if you coordinate with your friends and pick different colors, it'll make it much easier to know who is who that's in your general area. So all right, let's get started. We real quick on this, you can create your own world, and you can actually put it online so other people can join it. It works really well. Me and one of my buddies, well, Jim from the MMG helps me do videos. We've been playing this together. We really haven't had any issues at all. This whole process here works really well. And I do know, I think the developer said that dedicated servers will be coming on the 1.0 release for this game. So maybe not right now, but they will be here later on. But I'll be honest, like I said, this works really well. Now, you don't have a lot of options. You can show it online. You can do peaceful mode, and you can do friendly fire. And you can also set a password if you want to protect it. So, you know, the very basic stuff. So let's get started here. I'm going to hit start. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, or sorry, the beginning story here, because there's not really much of a cutscene, but there's a little description that'll pop up here. But basically, you're a small folk. Your king, which is, I assume that picture right there in the background. The queen is ill, and the king needs you to go to the overland, which is basically the outside world. Small folk live in tunnels underground, and you have for a long time. This is not like Grounded, where you know your kids got shrunk, and you know you're out in this normal human world. This is very much a different type of world. I mean, it's hard to say different because you're still small, but you're normally small, and there's magic, and yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff going on, and there's cool weapons to do. Now, when I say magic, you can't actually cast magic necessarily. At least I haven't got to that yet. But just the world's magical. Like, you know, you can do some really cool stuff. And again, I can't say enough about this game. I just absolutely am in love with it. If you look how beautiful it looks graphically, it's fantastic. And the whole world is this way too. So this is just the beginning area. They did a really good job of taking you through and showing you the basics. You do want to stop and talk to everybody because they're going to give you helpful information. It unlocks things for your compendium here, and then your codex. So you do want to do that. When you find items to pick up, oh, sorry. So you do want to do that because when you talk to people, it will actually unlock things for your compendium and your codex. Which, if you hit tab, you'll see them up here as these options. It talks about the king, and then here's some of the stuff. But you also are going to come into these owls, and you want to talk to them because it does the same thing. It'll actually unlock more things for you. So to learn and put. Sometimes it puts things on your map and everything. And this gives you a helpful hint. So this one is talking about hitting V. This shows like your radar. You can see resources around you. Not really super important early on when it's daytime, but at nighttime it comes in handy a ton because it's hard to see things. And so if you hit that, you can find some resources and hopefully get yourself out. So here's a better view of some of it. And when you're picking things up, another tip, it says to hit F. If you hold F, you'll actually pick up the items off the ground. And as you see, when I picked up that wood, it actually unlocks some new codex or new recipes for me up there in the top left. And so don't feel like you have to hit F on everything. I did that at first and it got real annoying. And then I realized, well, if you just hold F down, you just automatically pick everything up in the area. It makes everything a lot better. All right, we're going to go through here. I'm going to show you the beginning. I'm not going to stop on all these owls, even though you should, but I've played this many times at this point. I'm just going to show you the world here. Really cool. This whole tunnel area is really cool. I hope maybe later in the game you get to come back in the tunnels and see more of the world, because I just think it's beautiful. So here's some of the other small folk. You're also not the only small folk out in the world. There are people out here that you actually need to talk to and interact with, because they're going to unlock better armor and give you other recipes to make your voyage better. If you just look at how detailed this world is, I just absolutely love it. You're going to keep walking through here and talking to people and doing the owls for just a little bit, but it doesn't take long because right here is the first real exit. Now there's still some more tutorial to go, so follow the torches. You're going to find some more owls like those right there, but I want to show you this right here. So when you first walk out and look at the world, you just see how amazingly beautiful it is. And this big old tree right here is called a giant tree, and you can actually climb those. It takes a little bit of time the first time to get up it, but if you keep jumping off the mushrooms and climbing up like the little vine things, you'll eventually make it to the very top, and that actually unlocks the great tree for you. And what that does is you can actually build a base on top of it, and there's also an airlift on the side of it, which we're on the opposite side, so you can't see the airlift right now, but there's a balloon at the bottom that will take you all the way up, and then it'll also take you all the way down, so you can have a quick base. And the beautiful thing about the great trees is once you capture one of them, so climb to the top of it, you unlock all of them. And why that's awesome is you can just go to another great tree because they're spread all out through the world. Here's your map, and there is more map here. There's a fog of war into effect, so you see like the basic area, and then as you explore, you'll unlock more. And the world's a lot bigger than you think, I'll tell you that. And it's a dangerous world, but it's super fun to explore. So anyways, back to the tree. Once you have one unlocked, you unlock all of them basically. You just have to go up to the tree and tell it you want to move your base there. And then whatever base you have built on top will move from tree to tree. So you constantly have a mobile base, and it takes all your chests, everything with it. It's a really cool system. It works really, really well. All right, we're going to continue down here. I'm going to show you the first NPC that you really want to talk to, because he can craft you the first upgraded set of armor. And some of these NPCs, they're when you talk to one, it'll unlock the next one. So you won't see them on the map until you talk to the other one. So like this one right here is Heron, and so we're going to talk to Heron here, and he's going to give you some information, tell you some things. You can ask some questions. You can talk about what he can craft. This is what's going to show you the armor. So he can make you padded bracers or light gauntlets. You can see the materials that it takes. And this is the only way to actually get your armor. You can't craft your own armor. You craft everything else in the game, though, which is really cool. But this is kind of like almost a progression system, because you need the higher armor to get the better resources to fight the bigger insects and bugs in the world, because it gets hard pretty quickly, so you do have to be prepared. So when I talked to him, it should have gave me a location for another NPC, I believe. Oh, maybe I need to do the talk here, so let's say here. I'm kind of flying through this here. There's a lot to talk about. What tools should I craft? He tells you all the basics there. Alright. And then he unlocked the Elder on the map. If you see the Elder, that's the next person NPC that I want to talk to. And that's kind of how this works. You can talk to the person, it'll show you the next person to move to. And typically what I've figured out, I mean, the Elder, you don't have to upgrade to make it to the Elder. You can do that just fine. But typically, past the Elder, to get to the next person, you kind of have to have that armor, the last set of armor that you could make, because the area is just a little bit tougher. Now, I mean, obviously that's going to vary depending on your skill level and stuff, but just in my personal experience. Alright, and the other thing I want to mention is, back here when you come out on this platform, you should have saw a giant owl. And why that is important is, in my opinion, it's a great place to build your first base. There's a lot of good resources. Right there's the owl. There's a lot of good resources over there. It's across the river. You have to be careful. You can't swim in this game. You can go underwater very briefly, but you have to get yourself out quickly or you'll drown, or you get swept away, one or the other, and it will kill you. And so what's cool about this, you drop everything that you have that's not in your hand at the time. So yeah, you keep your armor. So anything that's not equipped, basically, you drop. So you do have to be careful. But if you die in like the river, your body's not at the bottom of the river. It shows it will respawn. Your gravestone will respawn basically the last flat or safe place you were. And so it's always, I've never really had problems getting my body, except for like a rare occasion where, you know, I just died in like falling or something. Alright, so when you make it to the end of the tutorial, that's going to actually lead you to that owl that I showed you earlier. And there's going to be some resources here that you want to pick up. And I'm going to show you where to build the base. So you want to go back down the owl. Do be careful. You do take fall damage quite a bit. And what you're looking for, you actually should see some glowing mushrooms. That's the direction that you want to head, in my opinion. So I'm going to wait till daytime and cut back. Alright, so it's now daytime. You can see what I'm talking about here. Those are the mushrooms that were glowing. But where you actually want to build your base is right over where those mushrooms are, in my opinion. Or anywhere in this general area, really. But up there, it seemed to be pretty safe. And the only thing that really would run through there is the grasshoppers, who are not aggressive unless you attack them first. Alright, so now I ran us to the spot that I was talking about. See, right here's the tree behind us, the owl tree. Right here's where I like to build. And I like to build right here in between the mushrooms so they still spawn just fine. Alright, everybody, that wraps it up for our Smalland Survive the Wilds intro video. Kind of showed you the basics of it, showed you what the game was about, and where to get started and build your first base. This should get you well on your way to enjoying this game yourself. Do stay tuned. Next video will be a tips and tricks where I'm going to show you some really good starting information and some more advanced information about the game that's going to really help you excel and do well in this world. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day.